Welcome back to Politricks Watch. This is Sir P. Now today I'm going to talk about two things. The first one will be study by the scholars and the experts them. I start to tell people I really go on. Poverty is not the cause of high murder rate. The arguments are poverty cause crime is so high and that's why Jamaica so wicked because of the poverty. We debunked that a long time. You ever hear one of your favorite scholar them? Big research institute, think tank, spend much time and resources, collect much data, come to the conclusion. Like when you can't meet. Next thing I got touch upon. See look YouTuber back in the papers again. JCF I say. I deny say look YouTuber is one of them DSP. Now as you've seen over the years, I'm not gonna waste no time. I say if I this or if I me, if I this, it's nonsense. These people are reaching. What I'm gonna talk about is within the post the JCF make, then basically confirms that the local YouTuber is a wanted man. I'm gonna make one of them wanted dead or alive poster there. The JCF is acknowledging that the local YouTuber's life is in danger. I wonder why. I wonder why would anybody want to kill a local YouTuber? Very interesting times. We can start off with the study. Poverty does not cause high murder rate. Of course, facts don't matter. And narratives run a society, especially Ironman society. And narratives. Facts don't matter. So enough tough-headed, quote-unquote, bright people are going to see this and say, yeah, but, so they can feel better. Because think about what they're going through right now. One thing for them sweep aside my work and say, oh, it's on YouTube, but you don't know nothing. I'm going to sweep aside the big think tank. Sweep aside the much data and research. They're going to sweep aside the professor. These people have to accept that their whole life they've been blindsided by a narrative that doesn't even need a study to debunk when they think about it. They're not going to accept that. They're not going to accept that, no, this whole time, maybe I wasn't thinking about it as deep as I should. No, man. Instead, here I go. I just threw boom and go so boom. You see me I say? And it goes so boom. So people are going to play mental gymnastics to feel better about the fact that it's finally been buried. It's finally been buried and the poverty caused Ironman crime. Now, I wish I was the type that could make this slide. I'd make something slide, but not this. Whole heap of narratives you've seen me take on over the years. You see me take on the whole informer for dead narrative, informer and the Badness informer, and I just tell them from a long time, so one of my mission is to kill that narrative. The whole don't informer this and informer that. I'm telling you, Badman are the biggest informer. Don't make the quote unquote Badman tell about, yo, don't informer, don't call them on name because them are the biggest informer. In the Clansman recordings, you heard City Post. I tell man, forgot tell the police, yeah man. Tell them saw him do this and City Post, I informer. Your favorite Dan them, I informer. Another thing I take on over the years is the approach people have towards fathers and men. The video questions people should ask their mother. All-time classic that people them say on me. But another one of them narratives I'm take on, get hold of a backlash for, is the fact that on poverty cause crime. On poverty cause Ironman crime. Jamaica does not top the murder chart because of poverty. Big study go on. Again, this article come from Nationwide where they make the professor speak. It's not like Nationwide journalists them give them opinion on something. The actual people them, the actual scholars them, I say this. When you look on your screen. After them do much study right across Ironman, them study the zones of them, they study the parish them, then study the different communities. Big study. Much money and time could I invest in this then now. I mean, them could have saved their money and time by just tuning in, but again, these are official scholars and researchers, so you know, them for them thing the traditional way. And that's fine because at least now that can then be used to appease the traditional people who don't take their information from YouTubers and vloggers because you don't have no big title. Check this out on your screen. It says lead researcher at the think tank, Alexander Carswell, says there is no causal link between poverty, lack of education, or lack of employment opportunities and the high levels of violence in the country. Let me repeat. Lead research guy, not YouTuber guy. Not bad mind little YouTuber who fight against man called and take away girl and all kind of stuff. After them do them research, collect them data. Conclusion them draw is that there is no causal link between poverty, lack of education, or lack of employment opportunities and the high levels of violence in the country. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Big research uncovers what anybody with internet and critical thinking could decipher for themselves. Nevertheless, give thanks because now we have something official we can point to. Because you know when you present an argument, you have to show. You have to show certain studies and sources, and can't get no bigger than this guy. How much time, I have to tell you, this is documented fact. Right? It is a fact that in the 60s, Jamaica's murder rate was lower than many developed countries, including Uncle Sam. Jamaica had 65 murders in 1965, with over 1.7 million people living in the country. To put that in the context, Jamaica's population in 1965 was more than Trinidad and Tobago's population now. Jamaica had more people in 65 than Trinidad have now. And had 65 murders, guy. 65. Double digit. Trinidad had touched 600 odd murders now. With less than the people Ironman was touching 65 in 65. All throughout the 40s, 50s, 60s, your grandparents, them, your great-grandparents, them time. Jamaica had a very low murder rate. The idea that Jamaica was always this murderous hellhole that had no hope is a false narrative. Back then, these people were more illiterate. The Jamaican in the 50s and the 60s cannot read and write, cannot pass exam, cannot spell better than the Jamaicans today. No matter how quote-unquote dunce you think Jamaicans are now, right? They are more educated and more competent in academics than the Jamaicans that lived back then. What them people did have was, in my opinion, more wisdom. I think Jamaicans were wiser then because some of the sayings them will come out, right, were ahead of them time. But then you find some elder way, even though them not that bright on paper, they're not that bright when it comes down to schoolwork, but when you sing and reason with them, you know them old time people, them elderly, when them reason with you, you come like you talk to like a NASA scientist. But in terms of education, read and write, some of them people they couldn't even spell them name. They were more illiterate. They had less roads for drive pan, less car for drive pan them road there. Higher unemployment, higher poverty rate, less social mobility. But then if police do something to you, you can't go on social media and complain about it. Dog, name your supper. But then if you look a certain way, if you had a certain complexion or your hair stay a certain way, you couldn't even work in some jobs. And you couldn't even nothing about it, you couldn't even complain. And like now you can go up on the internet, oh my god, look at the injustice. But then there was nothing like that, dog, name your supper. The Jamaicans back then had it worse. You want to talk about unfairness, you want to talk about inequality, you want to talk about injustice. Check them time, the guy. What has taken a turn for the worse in Jamaica? It wasn't nothing economic. Jamaicans now are better off than Jamaicans then. This idea that Jamaica is this economic hellhole and the worst place in the world is another false narrative. People are so used to hearing that Jamaica is the worst place in the world when it comes down to economic conditions. That's when them see something we don't match, them believe, them rebel against facts. Jamaica is not even the poorest country in the Caribbean, much less the Western Hemisphere, much less the world. Jamaica is what them call a low-income country. It's not a poor country. Countries that are classified as poor, I can tell you about them. Jamaica's literacy rate is not where it should be, but it is nowhere near as low as another thing. We can show in the countries with all 35-40% of the country literate. Can you imagine 40% of the country can read? Poverty don't cause no high murder rate, guy. I'm showing you the murder rate charts right here. I'm showing you country that lead the world. Majority of them were in the Caribbean. Make that make sense. If a poverty cause it. Jamaica, Trinidad, Bahamas, them place there. How can these places lead the world in murder rate for poverty? You don't even have to leave Jamaica. Forget the world. Look inside Jamaica. If poverty caused high murder rate, Portland wouldn't have the lowest murder rate, guy. It wouldn't. Unemployment numbers in El Salvador were consistently low when they were topping murder charts. This narrative that poverty caused crime was originally pushed by politicians, entertainment, and quote-unquote scholars. This narrative started to get stronger when the custodian class started running the thing. Remember, their objective from day one is to convince Jamaicans that since we left from under daddy control, you see how the poverty caused this boy better with this stay under daddy control, because when time daddy did, Jamaicans say, yeah man, a true man, because the crime never so bad. I'm telling you, these people are agents. It's all by design. The politician and the artist and the quote-unquote scholar. The quote-unquote scholar, all them, you think they never have data? You think these scholars never had data? When time they set this narrative way back in the day, they had it. You know who never have it? The general public. But now we do. Because of the internet. And even though they had data back then, and they could have set the real narrative, they didn't. Instead, them push unicorn meat, poverty, cause crime. The politician and the DJ make this narrative stuck in a people's head on the mainstream level. Enough Jamaicans to this day think that Tivoli, jungle, and them community there don't have no light, no water. Everybody living in this boat shack where are crumbling, and there's nothing more than some zinc with some beer all the night, and nobody running to eat for all 5-6 days, and nobody not going to school, and that's why the war is so wicked around there. Unicorn meat. Enough of the communities you think are so destitute, them nicer than your community. Enough people who quote unquote live in a good area don't have things in their house where man run a garden and jungle having a for them house. People think that there's no TV in garden, no internet, just be like suffering babies on the side of the road with them ribs that stick out and fly and yam them. The reality is the poorest places in Jamaica are in rural Jamaica. They've always been. The reason why you think Tivoli, Jungle, Rima, Southside, Matches Lane are the poorest and most destitute places in Jamaica is because of music and politics. Because the DJ guy, win big up man from Jungle, Rima, Southside, Matches Lane. It's sitting in your head. Say ghetto equal poorest and most destitute. Far from it. Urban areas in Kingston and St. Catherine and place are not the poorest places in Jamaica. They are not. DJ love big up them places because they are agents of death, and nothing makes them happier than seeing black people commit self-genocide. So much so that people from these places have taken on a certain amount of notoriety. Is the DJ guy tell you that? Some of these places have now become so infamous that you to school all I tell lies that you come from Badman place and I come from a Badman place. Just you want sound cool and probably make some use afraid of him. Yeah man, you know, so my father come from a jungle. It's like instant street cred. Them things the people in a jungle, right, don't have no fridge. Them things the TV in that jungle. They don't love poor people. They love poor people that practice self-genocide. So because all they hear about is the garrison and the ghetto and the garrison and the ghetto, you've come to the conclusion, well, if Tivoli, Jungle, Southside and in place there are the poor places in Jamaica and them places are violent, and that means our poverty cause. Oh, because that place over here, so them no. Jamaica is bigger than West Kingston, guy. Jamaica is bigger than Spanish Town. But here is the real reason why people love the poverty argument. The poverty cause crime argument exonerates everybody from blame. Because the water comes to poverty, so it has nothing to do with me. Politician comes to poverty. Artist comes to poverty. So it has nothing to do with me. The well-spoken corporate guy who revels in the acidity gets to tell himself that, well, it has nothing to do with me because I'm so educated and all that. I'm saying, and even though I love and defend the madness, it still has nothing to do with me because, like, I'm so sophisticated. The real issue here is poverty. So instead of trying to make it look like because I'm over here indulging and pushing the acidic culture that I'm the cause, what you need to focus on is poverty. No, guy, it's not poverty. See the experts in that telling you. As I'm telling you, so show me the data, I don't care about your opinion. Show me the data, I'm a numbers guy. This whole heap of talking about where you feel. Show me. Every time I've made a video talking about crime and I've shown them unemployment rate, literacy rate, poverty rate, murder numbers. At data I use, I make them argument then and I tell them about, well, I think it's because, life is so and the people just, feel this way. Nah, that's your opinion, guy. The data, the evidence show there's no causal link. I'm gonna play a clip. Again, it's come from Nationwide. For them thing. After the research group come out and say, yeah, we've done the research now, it's over. The narrative is over. There's no causal link between poverty, education, lack of employment opportunities, and high levels of crime in Jamaica. So if the expert community know this and the scholars know this, surely the politician guy can get access to what them know too. And surely the media guy and the artist guy can also get access. Why this narrative not get pushed more to finally kill the arguments of poverty, cause high murder rate? Then that way we can actually keep looking, that way we can actually start looking at what's really causing this. It's not 10,000 youths that go around and look for opportunities so they don't have to kill people. It's a small minority of people committing all the murders. A minority of 87s commit the majority of crime. These are repeat offenders. Therefore, if you were to significantly reduce this pool of repeat offenders, crime would drop, murders would drop. If it was 20,000 Jamaican youths walking up and down on the road with no hope, so they have to kill people to survive, Jamaica's murder tally wouldn't be 1,400, guy. Think about it. You would have 1,400 murders in West Kingston alone. Think about it, guy. It's 187 with 15-20 victims. It's repeat offenders. It's a minority of youths committing the majority of murders. If it was poverty and desperation, then it would be tens of thousands of youths who are killed to survive. And that would be reflected in the murder charts, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be 1,400 murders, it'd be 14,000. Come on, expert guy. For the video, don't want to talk about something. Be people are sending me in the papers. I say JCF come out and I deny, say one of them DSP at the local YouTuber. This whole, he must repeat that it's become farcical. I'm not even entertain it because then me have to go to start deny everything every week because every 2 days, every 3 days them find somebody new to say. I look at YouTuber that. If you will think me a police and none of my squaddy friend them don't sell me out by now, me have several unicorns to sell now. Remember say, I spread back a man, right, when I do world tour, they go and go tell people say, look at YouTuber a police. Look at YouTuber a police, I go like him a lawyer. So, Sheep Nation, them go here, I spread say me a police. And now them find another police for them a sell the picture. By this point, I've been at least 70 different people. I'm other time people mention me, yo, you're so and so, oh, yeah man, them never know. Every week it change. As I say, at this point, it's becoming farcical. The reason why I address it is not even because the latest person who they say, but look at you, but it's because within the statements released by JCF, them end up confirm something they've never done before. That's why I read that time about it. Can you know people are hunt down and look for the local YouTuber? I thought, with my police. For a start, you're looking in the wrong F. But keep looking. Good luck. At this point, I'm a nomad. Living like I wanted, man. Think of it this way. The local YouTuber is everybody and nobody at the same time. But within the JCF statement, something stood out to me. Finally, we get acknowledgement from the JCF that vlogger guys, especially people at the local YouTuber, are marked for death. That is why they put this out, because they basically say, yo, our DSP now for the local YouTuber now because people want to kill the local YouTuber, so when we want to go set him at local YouTuber, then people might want to do him something. That's what they're saying. But in order to say that, they must acknowledge, say local YouTuber marked for death. People want to kill the local YouTuber. At this point, my head back must be the most valuable head back right across Jamaica and the diaspora. And in the old time, Western show them the wanted poster, right? Wanted dead or alive. Come like a little YouTuber that, which is the irony. And that's the irony. Somebody who make videos talking about crime basically is the most wanted man. Dead or alive. I live like I wanted, man. YouTube mashed up my life. I was a comfortable dinosaur. Now I'm a nomadic dinosaur. But we're not complaining. I understand it comes with the territory. That's part of the game. Throughout history, anybody who's ever gone against the actual system, anybody who's ever actually tried to put a wrench in the murder machine, have to live like a nomad. But the JCF is acknowledging that the local YouTuber, head back, is marked. So the headline to the JCF is denying, say, them DSP is the local YouTuber. When you read what the actual release say, yes, she said, them acknowledge, say, because of the content the local YouTuber make, enough people want to kill him. After Nigel did, remember there was an article in the paper that said there's no evidence that vloggers are being targeted and people want to kill vloggers. What a coincidence. Well, based on the JCF, I said, nothing can go so. We know Sir Nigel died because I think them put out. And who they exposed. We know that. You ever wondered why Nigel funeral was online? Because he couldn't get a safe burial anywhere in Jamaica. Gunman get big, right, sepulchre, fancy grave, drawn in a chariot, looking like the king of Zamunda. And a vlogger like Nigel couldn't even get laid to rest. That show you how things work in the area, man. The gunman, the Dan and them people they get. And if you lie down on one fancy tombstone and one big grave and all kind of fanciness. And the people who try to expose them online funeral. Mark this day, people. The JCF is accepting that the local YouTuber have money upon him head. Tell myself, true we know say people want to kill him, nobody mix him up with our guy. Patreon squad, big up on yourself. Yeah, you don't know, more life. Politricks squad, see you circling. Bless.